like she said, I've taught ninth grade science for 19 years. I used other test generator programs, and Edulastic outdoes them all. This is great. The online version is awesome. It's a great tool to use. Go ahead and go to the next slide. And once again, now I'm in the junior high, teaching 7th and 8th grade science, and I've been using Edulastic since I moved down here, found it. It's a great tool, putting lots of different types of questions in. We'll just keep going through the slides and keep telling you lots of stuff. There's the classes I teach. I just started a code.org, computer science discoveries class that I started teaching this year, and starting to get some questions in on that. And Sweta, did I pronounce her name correctly? She has helped me a lot, because when you put tags in for HTML carries through a lot of different things, and they've got some great help on making that work, so I could have some quizzes and such on different tags. Go ahead to the next. Okay, I organize my tests by class. As you can see, I've got FOSS kits and Project Lead the Way. Safety is a great way. I just have a miscellaneous where I try different things. Their organization is a great way to keep things together. Go ahead. I do a lot of different quick quizzes. Sometimes it's just checking what we did the day before. Sometimes it's a quick one on what we've done over multiple days. One of the things I've been doing more this year has been doing a practice test. So I'll make the test, summative assessment, make that, and then make a copy and change questions, whether I'm changing the question types, adding some different types or different questions that ask the same concept, but different way of asking it. And a lot of times I'll pull those questions out of their, I'll do the search and pull it off of all the questions that are out there. And then I send that out to the kids. They can practice it, and when they're done, I'll redirect it to them, and they can do it again. And you got two choices. You can either show them which ones they have right or wrong, or just leave it so they have to start from scratch. And I do a combination of them depending upon how the students did, what the topic is, all sorts of, those factors that come into there. The practice tests are a great way to introduce new question types. I've done drawing questions and passage questions. Go ahead to the next slide, please. Multiple versions for the modified as you need, as however you need to do it for the kids. But the thing I love on there is the audio. And I've got special needs kids and non-special needs kids that like the audio. It reads the question to them. As always, it just takes that natural inflection out of there. No matter who's reading a test, we always tend to have some inflection in our voice and sort of lead the students towards one way or the other. So the audio takes that out. The retakes, there's many, many options with that. You can do the same test, show them which ones they got right or wrong. I had a student recently who was supposed to put levels of complexity together, the most complex on the top and least complex on the bottom, and they did it backwards. So I only had to double check a couple other questions, and so I let them see their answers on that one, and they fixed their stuff, and they knew it, they just had things some backwards. So there's a lot of different ways to do your retakes. There's always the traditional questions, the ABCs, multiple choice, true, false. This picture happens to be a picture that I scanned. No, sorry, did not scan it. I took a snippet of it from online and was able to put that in. So you can take whatever pictures you have, add them in, and then ask the questions. And this question could be changed into an essay type question if you wanted, just like any other multiple choice type question. Go ahead. The non-traditional, this is a passage one, and not just a passage, but I added a video in here from TED Ed, And so they had to watch the video and get the answers. Some of them knew the answers because they paid attention in class. Others went through the video because they enjoyed the video. And then they were able to answer the question with more confidence. So the passage questions are great. This one, I just have one question showing with the passage or the video. You could put words on the left-hand side in your passage also. I've done that. Matter of fact, I've got two versions of this question. One has the text and one has the video, but they both have 2 or 3 questions. And if you want different versions of a test, you could take, and maybe on one test you have questions 1 and 2, and the next test you have questions 2 and 3. So you can choose which questions you actually use on the different versions. Here's one of the drawing ones. So they have to use the drawing tools. I have the feeling you cannot see my mouse, so I'll describe across the top in the blue bar. You've got your selecting arrow and then your pencil for drawing. You can draw straight lines and you click at the corners. You can draw curved shapes, whether it's a square, circle, or triangle. The ABC is the text, so they can actually add text. The square root symbol, you can actually add equations in, rulers and protractors. Commenting tool, I haven't had the kids use that much, and neither with the tools on the end, but they can change a lot of different things and put their text in there. They're able to draw the different horizons and talk about each horizon and what they saw in there. So it talks about their observational skills. You have some, in this one I have active assignments. This is for my 7th graders. Oh, sorry, 8th graders have their project Lead the Way heat transfer assessment. My 7th graders have fungal cell structures. So just 2 quick ones. This is my dashboard, so it shows me what's active. I like that because I can remember then if I've got 2 or 3 different quizzes or tests out there that are still active because kids are absent. You know, kids are absent once in a while. It reminds me which ones are there, or which assessments are open and the kids need to work on, and I can go back to them quickly. In the Edulastic 101, it goes through the whole left-hand menu over there with the assessments and the skill report, and then managing your classes. Here's a student view of a question, and you can see up here, and Ileana will have to circle it for me because you can't see my mouse, but you can see the green box with the arrow. That's going to read it to them, and I actually added a video in this so it'll show you what it's like. And then the stop button, and the kids, I say, now can you figure out which ones are for start and stop? And they're like, yeah, Mr. Smith. So this feature is one that my students use often, and I encourage them to use this feature whether they have an IEP or not. It's the read feature, where all they have to do is read out loud by clicking on the arrow.
Question. You take a cold can of soda off of a countertop.
They can pause it.
The
They can
countertop
keep playing.
the can feels colder than the rest of the counter.
To get to a point where they have to, then they can stop it.
Answer choices. Choice A.
So you can see where it'll read the question and the answer. It's one of the best things I really like about this. Helps all the kids. They can skip from question to question. They can flag a question. They can use the X to eliminate whichever one they want. They can always come back and uncheck it. So those are some great things. With the retakes I let the kids do, or the practice test to start with, they can save and exit halfway through and stop it just like that. And they can come back and resume, and they're up and running again. So, sorry, I tried to get a lot in a short period of time for you. So that should be my last slide, I believe.